This is my closet, and it is currently a mess. But in today's video, I'm going to show you how I take it from this craziness to this. I'm a minimalist, but sometimes my closet does get away from me. I think this makes sense. I mean, it's one of the smallest spaces in my home that's asked to hold probably one of the largest amounts of stuff. It's also something that I interact with when I'm low energy throughout the day, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. And I mean, let's be honest, sometimes I just don't want to deal with it because I don't feel good about how I look in my clothes. So I talked before about how decluttering my closet restores my peace. I think that was about a year ago. But in today's video, I want to do a very practical hands-on guide into how I'm addressing every single section of my closet and how you can use different tips and techniques to really transform your closet, even if it's small like mine. So let's get started. When it comes to decluttering the whole closet, I am a big believer in seasonal declutters. I declutter at the start of spring and at the start of fall. This allows me to reevaluate seasonal clothes and helps me catch any, seasonal clothes that I've been holding on to for a specific season but didn't wear. I feel like my bigger one is the spring one, and the fall one is just sort of a quick check-in, make sure there's nothing that I didn't wear over the summer. I'm also very specific about the number of clothes that I'm allowed to own. Basically, I follow Dana K. White's philosophy that a closet is a container, and so all my clothes need to fit in here. Another of my whole closet decluttering rules is that if I haven't worn something for a year, I just get rid of it. There are a couple of exceptions, like my wedding dress, but for the most part, I really try to abide by this rule because otherwise I will have a closet full of clothes that I just don't choose and don't wear. But it's not shorter than a year because sometimes I find that when I go thrifting or go clearance shopping, I find something that is really good for a specific season, but I don't buy it in the right season. And so I need to wait until the season where it's actually appropriate to, wear something that doesn't have sleeves or to wear a nice fuzzy jacket. Another of my decluttering rules that applies to my entire closet is that I pay attention to any hesitancy I have about getting rid of certain pieces of clothing. If you sense hesitancy in yourself about a piece of clothing, it may be that it's time to declutter it. The more that I pay attention to this for myself, I feel like I lean toward really soft fabrics. I lean toward cotton and wool blends that are not scratchy. And I really like more relaxed fits. I like things that are layerable. And I do also want to feel good in what I'm wearing. Like I want it to be somewhat flattering and comfortable. Like I want it all, right? I know all of these things because I've paid attention to what makes me hesitant to pull something off and wear it during the week. If something doesn't fit the type of clothing that you like to wear, whether that's texture, style, like feel of it, the way it fits, try to part ways with it. Obviously, there are exceptions here. If you have like a work uniform that you don't like wearing, you kind of have to still wear it. But anything that's for you, like life is too short to be wearing uncomfortable clothes that you don't like. My final whole closet decluttering rule is that I only keep pieces of clothing that make me feel body positive or body neutral. If a piece of clothing is body negative, and what I mean by that is it makes me feel bad about my body. It makes me feel fat. It makes me feel ugly. It makes me feel washed out. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be about weight, but often, let's be honest, often it is. If a piece of clothing, I put it on and I feel poorly about my body and about myself, I get rid of it. Because I struggle too much with negative body image at times to have things in my closet that are just perpetuating it and making it worse. I also don't want like the first thing that I see in the morning to just be a ton of clothes that make me feel bad about myself and make me feel fat or ugly or whatever, right? Like I want my first thoughts in the morning about myself to be affirming and encouraging. In order to follow this rule effectively, you do have to have like a baseline of acceptance of your body, which is, first of all, very hard, and that is a struggle for most of us. So if you are in the boat of like, oh my goodness, like I think all my clothes and probably any clothes I could go out and find are still body negative for me, this rule is probably not a good fit for you right now until you can develop that baseline of acceptance. A good way to apply it is to get rid of the worst offenders. Get rid of the things that just make you feel the worst when you look at them, and then slowly try to incorporate pieces that you like better. Those are all my decluttering tips and techniques for the whole closet. I do have a few organizing things as well, and I feel like just decluttering without organizing is not super helpful when it comes to your closet because there is usually so much stuff in it. So for organizing my closet, pretty much across the board, I use the Marie Kondo method of sorting it based on color, sleeve length for shirts, and overall length for other pieces. I keep my pants and shorts neatly organized in boxes above my hanging clothes. And then I have shirts and dresses here, and then other things that don't hang up down in my drawers. I also have a separate space for travel stuff. I do have a duffel bag on my floor right now that is not totally unpacked and will be in its proper place by the end of this video. But I feel like a lot of people use their closets as a way to store suitcases and overnight bags and things like that. And if you have the space for it, that is fine. For me, I really like just having a designated space for all of those things that I only use when I'm traveling so that I can go to it when I'm getting ready for a trip. And everything is there instead of I have some things in the closet, some things in a cabinet, some things just like scattered throughout the house. Okay, so now that we've gone over those overarching techniques for the closet, I want to get really, really specific about how I'm going to transform this from top to bottom. So let's move on to what I think is probably the most obvious and most annoying part of this video so far, and this is the door, my closet door. Okay, so if you have like a sliding or bifold door, which I feel like most closets have, you can just skip to the next section. But for me, like I have this regular door with hooks on the back and I have been hanging things on the back. And I know that if I have to walk past this every single time while I'm doing like the inside of the closet, it's gonna distract me. It's gonna really take away from me feeling like I'm making progress. So we're gonna start here. So let's take a look at what we have. We have this outfit here that really needs to go somewhere else. I would like to use this hook to hang my outfit for the next day if I planned it the night before. It looks like there's also a hat here behind that I need to find a new spot for. And then I have like 4 bags down here. And I mean, each of these bags serves a purpose, which is why they're on this hook to begin with, but it gets a little overwhelming when I want to leave the house. So I think I need to narrow it down to just 2 bags and then find someplace else to put these other bags. So I'm going to tackle this first and then work on the next section. Now that this door will not be distracting me or getting in my way as I walk by, it's time to start with these shelves at the top of my closet. Now, I know that there are a lot of decluttering gurus who would probably say you need to start at the bottom with the thing that you see and interact with the most. So like the floor or this section or my drawers. But I am following my own personal principles of giving myself an easy win. And I think that these shelves up here are the easiest place for me to start. I also like the idea of sequentially doing it in order. And I know that this won't take all day or over multiple days. But obviously, if that doesn't work for you, or if you just really want to make a big difference right away and you only have a few minutes to do it, you can start anywhere in your closet. Here are the decluttering techniques coming into play with the top shelf of my closet. First, I'm going to go through each box that has my pants and shorts and clock which pieces I'm keeping and which ones I'm getting rid of. My pants box is actually overstuffed after winter, so I need to get rid of some things to make space for storing them in the summer. I've also worn nearly everything in this box, so it's going to come down to practicality and how I feel about wearing each piece, not necessarily about what I wear versus what I don't. There are a couple of pieces that need mending too, so I'm going to either mend them or cut them up for rags or throw them away. I'm also going to try on every pair of shorts that I own just really fast to see what I'll actually have to work with once the weather warms up. I'm also just going to check the other things on these shelves to see if there's anything that isn't clothing or bedroom related that could go somewhere else. I'm also doing a little bit of organizing with this space and trying to use it a little bit more. I'm using this amazing comment from, I think it's Tubla, but it could be Tobla, as inspiration. I already had these nice boxes for my pants and shorts, but I purchased a 3rd container for lingerie, and I'll be using how much I love this box as a guide for how I feel about what goes in it. Anything that doesn't feel worthy of the box is gonna go. And just side note, I got a separate box for lingerie because I'm tired of like storing it with my regular undergarments. If your lingerie and your normal undergarments are the same thing, or if you're just not into lingerie, that's totally something you can ignore. Now that this shelf is looking as spiffy as it's going to, which actually I really like it. It's time to move on to the main event in the closet, which is all of my hanging clothes. Because it's already basically organized, I'm just going to take a section at a time and I'm going to work through each section and I'm going to sort them on my bed. I've got sleeveless and short sleeve shirts, long sleeve shirts, pullovers, cardigans, hoodies, jackets, those kinds of things, short dresses, longer dresses, and then at the very back, long sleeved dresses, regardless of length. And then I have a couple of sentimental items in the very, very back of the closet that we're not going to touch because I'm keeping them. That's where they belong. But everything else is going to come out and is going to get sorted on my bed into one of 3 piles. Now, I really think Marie Kondo is right when she recommends that you touch each piece of clothing in your closet. Although my criteria are different and closer to the ones that I outlined at the beginning of this video, because that's what I care about clothes. I care about comfort, I care about style, I care about fit, I care about like how it feels on my skin. As I sort the clothes onto my bed, I'm going to have the 100% keep pile, the 100% get rid of pile, and then the meh, maybe pile, which I haven't decided on. Now, this is just a quick sort. I'll sort through which ones are staying and going later from the meh pile. After sorting through my hanging items, I'm only going to put back the 100%. I am keeping these. Then I'll try to declutter as many of the meh items as I can, and I'll keep in mind closet space and having room to rifle through my clothes quickly as I do it, because I don't like when my closet gets super crowded and it's hard to find things and things get kind of pushed back. When I'm done, everything that's left, the items that were originally meh and that, you know, I could maybe keep, and the ones that I'm just like, I 100% want to donate these, all of that is going to go in my donate bag. And then for organizing, obviously my closet is already pretty organized, so that's going to be easy, but I do recommend that if you don't have a system currently for organizing, that you get one. I sort of described how I organize mine. I also recommend, and I don't think that I mentioned this before, but Marie Kondo recommends it. Lots of people recommend it. Sorting by color. So that if you're like, oh, I want a blue short sleeve shirt today, boom, you go, you see what your options are. It just makes it fun. It makes it interesting to look at. And it also makes it really, really easy to locate every single piece of clothing in your closet if you have an organization system like that. So I 100% recommend getting one, and that's the system that I use. I'm also going to be cleaning up as I go so that I'm not dealing with that stuff on my bed before I move on to the next section of my closet. So now that the main part of the closet is done, I'm moving on to my dresser. It's actually not really a dresser, it's a cube organizer, but I mean, most of you have a dresser, so we're gonna call it a dresser. I'm gonna take one drawer at a time because each of the drawers are so different. I've got my top 2 drawers, which I will mostly be leaving alone. My husband has this one that looks a little bit different because I had some extra space and I said, yeah, why don't you put some of your clothes here? I have sheets for our bed. I have socks, I have undergarments, I have pajamas, and then I have a catch-all drawer that's sort of hiding there beneath a bunch of junk. But first, I'm going to take care of all this random junk that is piled on top of my dresser because there's a lot of stuff back there, and I guess it's sort of an out of sight, out of mind situation, and so I need to clear that off. So for decluttering, let's start with the top of the dresser. Most of the stuff on here is travel mementos. I've decided to use my leftover postcards as bookmarks to make me happy and remind me of the places I've been, so I'll put them with my other bookmarks. The rest of this stuff actually usually has a place. It's either something that I haven't felt like putting away, or it's something I need to throw out or put in like a memory box, and so I'm just going to take care of all those items, put them where they belong. So that was actually pretty easy. I had no idea what I was stepping into there. For the top drawers, like I said, I'm just going to leave those because the sheets don't need to be decluttered and I'm not decluttering my husband's clothes. Middle drawers, for socks, I'm going to go through and look for anything that I don't like wearing, anything that doesn't have a match, and holes. And for the undergarments drawer, I am basically looking for stains, holes, or anything that I don't like wearing because it's uncomfortable. For these bottom drawers, I am going to use a very similar system to the one that I used when I was decluttering the top of my closet because they're the most full and are going to need the most help. So I'll sort them into piles on my bed and then go from there with the keeping, donating, and sorting the ones that I'm unsure about. I also think it's a really good time to reassess this catch-all drawer. It'd be nice for it to actually have a purpose, and so I just need to think about what I want that to be. So we are almost done. We just have the floor. And now the floor, this is a tricky one because I feel like It should just be clear in most people's minds, but I do actually have a couple things that I keep in like boxes or baskets on the floor. And so I need to make sure that things are organized in there, that there's nothing in there that I'm not using or that doesn't need to be in there, but it isn't going to be 100% clear. So anyway, let's get cleaning and decluttering. So for decluttering the floor, first I'm going to take all the junk off the floor and throw it away. There are lots of things here like little tags and stickers that I don't need. Then everything has someplace that it belongs that isn't the floor, or at least even if it's one of the things in baskets on the floor, it belongs in the basket. So I need to put it away and then I'll declutter what's left. Because I decided that this bin here is going to be for swimsuit stuff, I need a place to put my bags and any cold weather gear, hats, accessories that don't hang up. For organizing, I just need to make sure that everything ends up in a place that it makes sense for it to belong. Otherwise, I might not be able to find it. I won't use it and it'll just be a big waste of my time even keeping it because I can't use it and I don't know where it is. And now just look at this. This is helping me breathe a sigh of relief because now I know that one of the first things every morning as I step into spring that I'm going to see is going to be simplified and decluttered, and my closet is just full of clothes that I actually love wearing. That is the beauty of an in-depth closet declutter, and I hope that the techniques that I talked about in this video help you declutter your closet too. If you would like to learn a little bit about how decluttering my closet helps my mental state, you can check out this video. And then if you're just interested in decluttering and minimalism in general, I recommend this playlist. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!